Okay, good morning everybody. Actually, not everybody, but all here. They're gonna join us, don't worry. Welcome to Democratic Mom. Welcome to Democratic Middle East Mom. This is my first presentation in Dubai. Actually, I've got lots of presentations, some other places. You can find them all in YouTube. But this is my first in Middle East Mom in Dubai. And I'm gonna talk about a Dude server, the new version of the Dude server. And at the end, in few slides, I just want to introduce you our new monitoring and notification system, which is iGenTik. But I'm not allowed to talk too much about iGenTik here. You can come to our exhibition booth. There we can talk more about iGenTik. But this presentation, actually, it's more about Dude server. My name is Mani. I always have to say not that kind of money, this kind of money. My family name is Raissdana. I'm a CTO and the co-founder of a company called MITSCO. MITSCO is based in Turkey. We are in Istanbul, working internationally. Most of our business is support and also the consultancy, but all over the world. We've got some sessions, international training sessions, some projects in Africa. Actually, Africa is our biggest market. You know, they are developing their countries. And Africa is one of the best platforms for Democratic as well. I'm being in this technology, in IT technology, roughly around 14 years. I'm doing support and instruct engineers for more than 8 years. I've got my trainer certification 2010 for Democratic, and also I'm trainer of something else. I'm not allowed to tell you here. And my specialties are about wireless, routing, QoS, Firewall, and actually the Dude. I'm a Dude consultant. In this presentation, we want to demonstrate a Dude server. It's all about the monitoring and controlling your network as well. I'm going to share you these slides with the PDF version. You can download it everywhere in Democratic website, in our website. With these links, you can find out who I am, actually. You can check out my experiences, my resume, my links somewhere else. Democratic website and all others. I'd like to introduce you our joint ventures and partners all over the world. ECNX Development is our joint venture. They're developing all we need in case of development. Scripts, programs, applications, operating systems, anything that we need to develop, ECNX Development just does all the developments for us. Double Square Network is our sister company in Philippines. Actually, we consider ourselves as the same company. We have the regular training sessions and projects in Philippines. So the owner of the Double Square Network is somewhere around. If you need to do something in that part of the world, like East Asia, Far East Asia, you can talk with him. These are our partners all over the world. Actually, I mentioned partners mostly around this country. Perseus is our exclusive partner in Iran. Join My Wi-Fi. Actually, they have the exhibition booth beside our desk there. Akjaba is from North Cyprus, and Join My Wi-Fi is from South Cyprus. You know, Cyprus is divided to two different parts. Amic Online in Lebanon. eHealth in Africa, A-Link also in Africa but different countries, and WAN Networks. Also WAN Networks has the exhibition booth beside us. You can check them out. The guys from WAN Networks already presented here. And these are my training sessions all over the world. You're really welcome to join us anywhere. You can find the schedule online. These are our training sessions starting from tomorrow morning. Here in Dubai, we're going to have 3 Democratic sessions this time. And then also other countries. You can check out with this link. You can find out all our training sessions in all countries. That's enough for introduction. Let's see what we have as a content in here. In this presentation, as I said before, I want to talk about a DOOD. Everybody knows what is DOOD. DOOD is monitoring system, but what it does, how it works, and how you should work with. Because DOOD is very simple application, but it does too much. It has lots of features. And you can do whatever you like with the DOOD. Even you can configure your routers, your MacroTik devices inside the DOOD. I have to say that DOOD is not dedicatedly for MacroTik devices. You can monitor everything else, anything you want. But if you are using MacroTik, then you have some extra features. You can configure your routers, you can upgrade your routers directly inside the DOOD. Here, if you want to use the last version of a DOOD, because in this presentation, I'm going to demonstrate a version 6. As you may know, DOOD also has version 3 and version 4. Those are legacy versions. But if you want to use the version 6, your router OS version should be upper than 6.34. You have to upgrade your router OS version to be able to use a DOOD server. Because legacy versions, version 3 and version 4, they had server and client both in the same system. You could have also the server inside the Windows machine. But here, in version 6, you can set up a server version inside your router. There are 3 options that you can use a DOOD server. You can set it up on MacroTik CCR routers, you know, cloud core routers. The other option is using router OS x86 version. You can set up a DOOD server. DOOD server is a kind of a package for these 3 platforms. The other one is a CHR, router OS CHR version. So to be able to use the DOOD version 6 server version, you have to use one of these versions as the router OS version. Then you can set up the DOOD server as a package in one of these, and then remotely from any other client somewhere else, on your mobile phone, on your laptop, somewhere else in a remote location, you will still be able to connect to your server. By default, DOOD scans or discovers your network in layer 2. It means it can find out all your devices in your broadcast domain inside your layer 2 network. So you know the discovery works only in layer 2. It monitors availability of your network, and it has the real-time notification. In case of any unavailability, it can remind you. Also, it can send you the message, it can send you an email, but all needs configuration. It supports layer 3 probes. It supports SNMP. SNMP is a standard protocol, version 1, version 2, and you know there is a new version, version 3. This one can support version 1, version 2, same as MacroTik. And also, DOOD has direct access to your router OS. It means if the device which you want to monitor is a MacroTik device, directly inside a DOOD, you can configure your device by the Winbox. There is the embedded Winbox inside the DOOD. So you no more need to open a separated session of the Winbox. Inside the DOOD, you easily can bring up the Winbox and configure your MacroTik routers. Here, we are talking about version 6, which has some fundamental differences with legacy versions. One of the biggest difference is the client and server version. In old version, you could use the same application for both, but here, server version should be on your router. The client version should be on Windows machine, anywhere. I made some screenshots in here, how you can start to work. This is the discovery interface. You can click here, discovery. Actually, as soon as you install the application, it's going to have the auto discovery. By default, it discovers everything. But in case of any problem, you can click the discovery button, and then it finds everything, all IP addresses, no matter it's a mobile phone, printer, scanner, whatever, IP-based. Even your Apple TV, it finds your Apple TV. Anything that has the IP address in your layer 2 subnet. And as soon as you click discover, it's going to count all the IP addresses. If you are working with legacy versions, version 3 or 4, because most of you right now, maybe you have some older versions, legacy versions of version 3 or 4, you will still be able to upgrade your legacy version to the new one. You just need to change the database path. With this command, dude import db backup file, you'll still be able to use and import your old database. But first, you need to export your old database, and then you can import it with this command here. Because they have different databases, without importing, you cannot use that database here in version 6. You have to import first. So if you have some data with your old version, first you need to export from that version, and then you need to import it here. Or maybe you'd like to change the path of database. This is another solution. Instead of importing, you also can change the path of your database and redirect everything in new version to old database. And this is the procedure to change the path. First, you need to disable the server. If the server is up, you cannot export the database because it's in use. You can move existing directory, change the path of directory, and enable the server. Just few steps. And it works fine. Don't worry about losing your details, using your data on your database. It works fine. This is the interface of the dude. When you install the dude, there are different tables. This is the main, actually this is the log. I opened the log in here, but there are different panels. This is the menu panel. You can have all the menus in one box here locally. And then you can have the map of your network, real-time map. It means, for example, if because of any reason one of these devices goes down, immediately it shows red in here. And if you have set up the notification, also you're going to get the messages, emails about that failure. Also, you can manage all your logs in here. Because Dude has acceptable syslog server, you can redirect all of your logs and you can manage them all in here. It's good enough. For the providers, as the ISP, this is good enough syslog server. Same like Linux. You can manage all your devices' logs. Also, you can put them in different directions, and the map. From the main menu, you have all the options centralized in the same menu. All of them are in the left pan. Different, I don't want to get in through all of them. It could be boring for us, but main features, actually, you can check out your devices separately, how many devices you have, how many of them are up, how many of them are down. You can see the functions, history actions, what you did before. A network map. Also, you can have multiple maps. You can have multiple maps. And based on your network, depends how many maps you have, you'll still be able to add all of your maps. The main menu has these options. I don't want to read them all, but functions, the most important files, devices, charts. You can make a chart of the availability. You can make very nice history logs and reports, kind of reports. Network interfaces, they are separated with device. Device is something else. Network interface is something else. So everything is actually separated in here. Notifications, panels, everything. And it's easy to use. I mean, it's very user-friendly. You don't need to have that much big knowledge about networking. Just acceptable knowledge of networking to be able to add IP addresses, know what is SNMP, very small things. With the preferences, here you can have some server configuration. These are the configuration of the servers. You want to have it on your status bar, or you want to appear on time, or you want to hide it in a tray. So lots of different options. This is the server setting. As you can see, it's version 1 public. This is the SNMP version. By default, it works with version 1. Also, you can add multiple SNMP records here with different community. The most useful one, I mean, the most public one is public SNMP, public community. And then you need to add the devices. If dude has not updated by itself, has not discovered what you want, then you can add your devices manually. So if discover works fine, you didn't need actually this menu. But this is the menu to add device manually. This is the probe which you want to monitor. Same like PRTG sensors. What you want to monitor? You want to monitor a CPU, FTP, ping, all the protocols actually, SSH, Telnet, there are all the protocols. When you click the probe, means you're adding them as a sensor in here, and dude is going to check this sensor 24/7. Also, it shows the graph, availability graph. It's one of the graph. It's a basic graph in here, but also in reports and history, you can find some other graphs. This one just shows downtime and uptime. How much was up, how much was down. It's all about the reachability only. To create a map, actually, before creating a map, if your device is macrotic, you need to click router OS in here. Then dude understands that this is the macrotic device, and it doesn't need to do some other discoveries. It doesn't need to do more stuff. Also, it's better to provide the password in here. Even without the password, if you want to just monitor your device in layer 3, IP-based, you even do not need to add the password in here. But for macrotic devices, by putting a password in here, then you have direct access to your device directly from the dude. So maybe because of security issues, you don't like to put your username in here. But what we are doing in macrotic users database, we are creating a right permission, a new user with the right permission only for dude. You don't need to put your full permission user here in dude because it could be dangerous. Anybody that can access your dude already has an access to all your devices. So you will still be able to add read or write permission. Even read for dude is enough. If you want to configure something else, it's up to you. But for dude, even read permission is enough. So you can provide the password as well. Basically, it's gonna find the MAC address in here, but if you do some ARP for MAC address, or if you're using artificial MAC address or whatever, that you are not using the physical MAC address, real MAC address, then you need to provide the MAC address manually as well. But normally, when it discovers, it's also be able to find the MAC address. Maybe if you're using the virtual machine and there is the same MAC address with 2 IP addresses, one for your Windows machine, one for your virtual, maybe it's getting confused and you need to provide the MAC address manually. In the main map window, there are some options, setting, you have some map setting. Also, you'll be able to add the images in here. You can add the Google map. It shows the map as well. You can add more maps. This is the default map. As soon as you bring up your dude, it has a default map, and then you can add more map to it. A polling page has a deal with probes, with your probes. In which interval you want to probe, in which interval you want to consider as fail, in which interval you want to consider as up. For example, as soon as the ping comes back, it shows the device is up. But maybe for you, ping is not enough. You need to wait like 1 minute more, 2 minutes more to bring up some other services. And if those services are not available in dude here, then you can change the interval. You can change the up interval, down interval, and probe checking. And it shows the real-time graph. Actually, it's interesting because it's exactly real time. By putting your mouse cursor, you can see the real time traffic. in case of any attacks, in case of any high traffic, you easily can find it out by monitoring here. Also, you can add some reporting. For example, in case of any attacks, it can send you the message or email. So this is one of the interesting part of the Dude, because everything is real time. Even the map or graphs, all are real time. In a separated window, you can add the links. By default, it has some default links like wireless, Ethernet, fiber, these kind of links. But if you have some specific links, then you will be able to add it in here. Also, you can add the logo because it shows different types of links like this. Also, you can change the shape. For example, by default, this is the shape of a wireless. This is the shape of an Ethernet. Fiber could be a bit thicker, so you can design it as you like. Also, you can add links directly from the map. So there is a table, you can add the link separately, and you don't care about the map, but also directly inside the map, by having a right click, you can add the link and also the device automatically. So you don't need to go to separated window and add everything else. Here, easily you can create links, devices, or relation between them. By checking out the link history, you can find out graphs. These are not real time. Those graphs, this is the real time graph. By keeping your mouse cursor on the map, on devices on a map, you can see the real time. But in a history table, this is not the real time. It has a small average time. For example, it shows the graph up to the 5 minutes before. But it's constant graph per year, per day, per month, anything you like. When you want to add the link, also you can add the SNMP type and the thickness of the link. For example, the thickness of Ethernet would be very thin. The thickness for fiber would be a thick. It's all depend on you. This is agents. Actually, agents are other Dude servers that can be used as intermediaries of a device monitoring. Assume that you want to monitor another country, like Nigeria, directly from here. But because you are behind the NAT and you cannot access your network directly inside the Nigeria, you are behind the NAT. Your access is only layer 2 up to your edge router. But by using the edge router of Nigeria as the agent, then you can access all devices behind the NAT. Even through the internet, you can access, because that device, that edge router is your agent. So agent means another Dude server somewhere else which you want to access devices behind the edge router. Even not only the NAT. If you're doing the routing, local routing, I still not be able to access your network. So you can use the edge router of that network as the agent, and remotely from other side you can get in to Nigeria. Notification system of a Dude, it's a good feature. It's powerful enough, not bad. It sends messages. Also, it beeps. If you have a buzzer on your device, it can beep. It flashes, logs the events. It logs the events, not even in a syslog, in separated log, it shows all the log, but even in a syslog also, you can manage all of your logs. It pops up something in case of notification. Actually, it needs configuration, but it pops up something. It can show immediately what's happening. My example was attack. In case of attack, then you can configure your Dude server to bring up the notification for you immediately. You can also add new notifications. More types are available. These are default notification, like a log, beep, or whatever. But more than this, maybe you need to receive some emails or messages. Then you need to add extra notification. Extra notification could be an email. This is the most simplest one. You want to get emails in case of anything. So you can provide a trigger, and when you want to configure the email as the notification or whatever, email, SMS, everything, you can provide a trigger. For example, in case of this, I want to receive email. In case of downtime for server A, you want to get notified. So downtime of a server A is a trigger of your condition. It's a condition. You can execute something locally. You can run command in case of something, because this is notification. So you can run commands in case of something. If something happened, then you can run any kind of commands on the local Windows machine, on your client computer, not in other devices. For example, you can configure it to run SSH session to your router and then do configuration inside the SSH. These are all extra configuration. It plays sound. This is a bit different with the beep, because beep works with the board buzzer, but sound is coming out of your speaker. If the device has a speaker, it says something, although you can provide the MP3. In case of attack, you can sit back and listen to MP3 if you like. But then the attackers will take everything in your network. But you can do whatever you like by sound. You can make a group of actions. You can do multiple actions at the same time. You can group all the actions. You can say something, for example, as a record, you can write a note or something. Uses Windows speech ability to say the message in computerized voice. Same like an Apple Siri. Have you seen the Siri? It's like this, but it uses the Windows facilities to read something. For example, you're providing a sentence, a paragraph. It reads what you write. Also, log and syslog are the default features. Something is missing in here. Actually, it's not missing. GSM notification is also available in Dude, but it needs extra configuration, an extra module, because you need to have a GSM module. Then you install the GSM module, configure it, set it up separately, then attach it to Dude server. So these are all extra configuration. But Dude still be able to send out the text messages to notify. Only can notify you by text messages. You are somewhere else out in the party. Your network has a problem. Then you need to get notified what happened. Yeah. Then you may need to send your colleagues because you are in the party and you cannot go there. So you want to get notified by a GSM. So Dude is still be able to do the GSM notification, but you need to add the GSM box, install everything. But here, I just want to introduce the iGenTik. I told you I'm not allowed to talk about iGenTik too much, but because there is a kind of relation between Dude and iGenTik. They have same features, but iGenTik does something else. iGenTik basically is monitoring and notification system. It's separated with Dude. Dude, for example, has the map of your network, but iGenTik basically is monitoring and notification system. This is the default feature. First 100 sensors are free. You can test it out. Also, we have the cloud version for you to test. But it's a flexible and robust monitoring and notification system. At the type of configuration, it has two different types. IMS. IMS means interactive monitoring system. ICMS means interactive control and monitoring system. So the second type of configuration has controlling as well, but the first one cannot control because of the topology, because of the physical topology actually. This is the main window. It shows all of your sensors and the graphs. This is the feature list. Also, I can give you the feature list there. But the difference between IMS and ICMS, this is IMS, means iGenTik is something separated of your network. It's not on the way. It's not between your devices. You know, home internet, like ADSL, is using just one router as the edge, access, firewall, everything. A bit more professional networks have two, like the edge router and the access router. Most of the providers prefer to use double routing because they can split the process. You leave all the edge process, all the public processes like load balancing, like BGP, everything on the edge router. And then on the access router, you can do PPPoE client, you can do bandwidth management, local firewall. So access has a deal with local network, edge has a deal with public network. But in most professional networks, there is a kind of firewall between edge and access, but doesn't matter. In case of iGenTik, in iGenTik point of view, because iGenTik is separated and you're connecting it to your switch, so it's not on the way, traffic doesn't getting through directly, so it needs to send probes. So it's just IMS means it can monitor but cannot control what you want. ICMS means iGenTik is in the middle of your way. It's between the edge and access router. Now your traffic is passing through the router, is passing through the iGenTik. So you can do whatever you like. You can have control, you can send commands, even you can send commands to iGenTik. Also, because it's modular, you can add some extra MacroTik and Linux features like radius features, user management, bandwidth management, any other extra features as the extra modules. But this is the better approach. ICMS is better approach because it can, in case of attacks, by default, IMS cannot check your attacks because it's not on the way. But if you want to check out your attacks and you want to get notified immediately, you need to run iGenTik as the ICMS in the middle of your network. This is the device, and actually, to be honest, I haven't seen. If you see such a thing, just notify me. But this is the only monitoring and notification system with appliance, with the hardware. You know, PRTG, SolarWinds, there are lots of options. Actually, they are not our competitor. They're working for, it's been like 20 years. But this is the only monitoring and notification system with appliance, with the hardware. Different types of hardwares with different Ethernet ports as much as you need, but normally you don't need more than two, one LAN, one WAN. But if you have extra modules for bandwidth management or something else, also you can use separated Ethernets. Also, we're gonna add the fiber SFP later on. It has the SIM card inside, it has the module to slide in a SIM card. You can slide in your SIM card somewhere here in the board, and you don't need to add any extra module. If you are using MacroTik and if you are using iGenTik to monitor MacroTik devices, then you have some extra features. For example, you can monitor your queue. As soon as your queue gets like 80% saturated or 100% saturated, it can notify you. And too many features. You can monitor your tunnels, you can monitor your firewall, anything you need. So this was all about the Dude. You know, Dude version 6 is very similar to version 3 and 4, but it has extra features. But it's very user-friendly. You don't need to worry about anything. You easily can set it up. Discovery works fine. There's not that much big troubles. But in case of any problems, you're welcome to text me. I'm always available in Skype because I'm mostly in the class, in training sessions. Maybe I cannot answer your phones, your calls, but the first one, Viber, WhatsApp, available. Also, I'm always available 24/7, 365. I'm available in Skype. And these are my contact details. Now, any questions, if any? So it means everybody is Dude experts, yeah. It has process. It has process. It depends on your traffic and probes, but for sure, when you set up a Dude server in a router, for sure it has the process. And it increases your CPU usage. In a tool, there is a profiler menu. As soon as you add the Dude package, it also shows the Dude as one of the profilers. Then you can see your high CPU usage is because of DOD or something else, but yes, it has processes like 20%, 25, depends.